Mr. President of the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, Mr. Rector of the University for Peace, the Honorable Elizabeth Orio, who's given a speech for me that I'm glad my wife is here to hear. She always has doubts about some of these things, and it's wonderful to have you say it because she has such great respect for you, as I do. Mr. Foreign Minister, friends, colleagues, it's wonderful to be back here. This building is no longer the building I remember, but it's much nicer. I'm truly honored to be here and to see what has happened with this building. I should mention all the names that sit here, but I think you will forgive me if I don't do this, because I think it's so much nicer to get right down to what I have to say. This event here at the seat of the Inter-American Court of Human Rights in San Jose, Costa Rica, to receive an honorary degree from the University for Peace has, as you would expect, a very special meaning for me. Actually, Elizabeth already said most of what I feel about this. As you know, I came to Costa Rica in 1979 to be sworn in as one of the first judges ever elected to this court. At that time, there were few countries in Latin America, with the exception of Costa Rica and 2 or 3 others, where a human rights court could be established without eliciting ridicule and hypocrisy. In 1979, most countries in this region were ruled by dictators of the left or the right. Countries were even so much as expressing support for human rights and the rule of law could land one in jail or even worse. To be in Costa Rica at that time was to be in an oasis of peace, freedom, and democracy. This, without doubt, was the hemisphere most appropriate as a venue for a human rights tribunal. That's still true today. And that is why it was a very special honor for me to be nominated by Costa Rica to serve on this court. And remember, my country, the United States, still hasn't signed the convention, which is something I hope to live to see, but I'm not so sure. But it was Costa Rica, and it has made me a totally different person, and it has meant so very much for me. This building also has a very special meaning for me. After we were sworn in, the first ever Inter-American Court of Human Rights, we learned that no building had been provided for us as the seat of the court. The first president of the court, Judge Rodolfo Pisa, and I, together with Manolo Ventura at that time, were delegated to find an appropriate facility. Eventually, we found this lovely building with its very interesting history that I won't go into. It would take too much time, other than to say that the former dictator of Libya, Colonel Gaddafi, even played a role in this building's history. I don't think most of you know about it, and so I think Judge Ventura should be able to tell the story. It's a very interesting story. It brings together a notion of peace, human rights on one hand, and a terrible dictator on the other who gave us this building. More important, though, this building also has a very personal significance for me. It is here that I first fell in love with the woman who was to become my wife, and who, I'm very happy to say, is still my wife with some 30 years of marriage, and I hope many more. And where but in Costa Rica would it be more appropriate to establish a university for peace than in a country that prides itself on not having an army, because it realized that very often armies tend to lead to dictatorships and oppression. That was the wisest insight a government can ever make, and Costa Rica made it. Having committed my life to the struggle for human rights and peace, I consider it a very special honor and privilege to receive an honorary degree from a university that dedicated itself to studies to study peace and human rights as a subject in a region that has for far too long been victimized by the opposition of peace. In gratefully accepting this honorary degree, I would like to express my profound hope that the principles on which the University for Peace is built and the ideals it is dedicated to promoting will forever take hold in our region and in the world. May they bring genuine peace and the full enjoyment of human rights to all human beings in the Americas and the rest of the world. And may Costa Rica forever remain the lodestar in humanity's struggle for human rights, freedom, peace, and justice. There is no better place for a university that has dedicated itself to these ideals than your beautiful country. Thank you very much.
El señor rector de la Universidad para la Paz procederá a entregar el doctor Honoris Causa junto al decano de Asuntos Académicos. El diploma dice, by virtue of the authority granted by the United Nations General Assembly, confers upon Thomas Buergenthal the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa in recognition for his outstanding career in international law and his leadership and life commitment in the promotion and protection of human rights, done in San Jose, Costa Rica, this 22nd day of August 2014.
Thank you very much. As I indicated to you before, it's truly a great honor. I've received a number of other honorary degrees, but none is as meaningful to me as to receive one from the University for Peace in this country, which has meant so much to me. Thank you.